rock people out there, welcome back to another MPJ, Musical People and Journeys rock show. I'm your host Nigel, and welcome to my wonderful panel today, to Paul, to Trish, to Dave, and to Ian.
Good morning.
Welcome, gang. How you all doing?
Good, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Trish, you're going to have some more multiple moments today?
I don't know, I'm a bit exhausted.
Right, so what's the show all about? We are, well, if you tuned the first time, we reviewed two brand new rock albums, and we pit them head to head, and we decide where would we spend our hard-earned money on in terms of recommendation. We rate them out of 5, and if they get the golden ticket, they get to more than 20, they get inducted into our Hall of Fame, and maybe even get to the end of the year show for Album of the Year. And I'm just going to point out, by the way, last year's winners, Visions of Atlantis, Album of the Year, tour in the UK in August. They've got some gigs on. We're going to see them. Can't wait. So check them out. Right, okay. So who we got today then? Well, we have two bands, Rival Sons and their album Darkfighter, and Royal Thunder, Rebuilding the Mountain. Who are they, you might wonder? Let's find out, shall we? Rival Sons is an American rock band from Long Beach, California. We seem to be inundated this month from Californian bands. In 2009, loosely based in Nashville, the band consists of Jay Buchanan, lead vocals, Scott Holliday guitar, Dave Bestie bass guitar, Michael Miley drums, and they were joined by keyboard player Todd Ogren. When touring, they signed to Atlantic Records via Dave Cobb's label Low Country Sound, an imprint of Elektra, and they have released 7 albums and 1 EP. Rival Sons are also compared to the sound of 70s, yet they cite Prince and D'Angelo, the Roots, as influences alongside Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. Jay has listed artists such as Johnny Mitchell, Sly and the Family Stones amongst their influences, often stated Van Morrison as one of his heroes. I can't overstate his influence me as a writer and vocalist. So, the band are often cited as for their satirical style, with their musical style. Is it? Let's go to the most satirical person I know on this panel. Paul, we're going to start with you then. Let's talk about Rival Sons. Heard them before? Listened to them before? New to you? And what did you think?
If I just say no, then that should answer all your questions. I hadn't heard of them and so forth. So for 2023, Darkfighter is the first of 2 albums from Rival Sons. Both albums are all about light and shade. Darkfighter flows from high tempo to trippy 60s, 70s style rock that is more than a passing influence of bands like Led Zepp and co. This can be no better highlighted in Nobody Wants to Die. Jay Buchanan's voice is a perfect tone for these tracks. And I loved his vocals on Bright Light. Overall, the album is moody, darkly atmospheric, and it feels like Rival Sons have dragged the sounds generated by the power bands of the 60s and 70s into the 2020s. To be honest, I don't think I've listened to an album that is as both out there and as well as being listenable since John Martin's Solid Air. I would be really looking forward to the follow-up album later in the year.
Ian, Rival Sons, what did you think?
It's a good rock album. It is a good rock album. It's got a lovely 70s feel to it overall. Undeniably their own sound, though. We're hugely. I want to say more, but I can't, because there wasn't anything that really stood out. It was really good, but there was nothing stand out about it, apart from Bright Light. Mm-hmm. That's the contradiction to the rule. Bright Light, it had the distorted vocals that you get, the Beatles used a lot, things like Lady Madonna and tracks like that, which I really liked the way they replicated that and used that. I thought they used that to great effect on that. I enjoyed all the tracks. There was one track that stood out. The rest of it was good, but I wouldn't buy the album, but I wouldn't be averse to it if it was on either.
Dave, Rival
Yes.
Sons. I think you might have heard of Rival Sons before, but I
no. Yeah, no. Fan of these. Got a few of their albums. I really, really enjoyed this the first time I listened to it. I love a bit of blues rock, and this is right up my street. Very strong throughout. But I do agree with Ian. There isn't anything standout. We've had this with a few albums before, and there's just nothing on there that. Well, to me, there was nothing on there that just grabbed me. And I've got to admit, the more I listened to this album, the more it was like, okay, this is a fine addition to their back catalogue, but it's definitely not anywhere near the best work that they've done. Really, really strong, though. As I say, it's one that I probably will end up buying because, as I say, I'm a fan of the band, but it's not quite up there. It's not an epic album, but it's very, very good nevertheless.
Trish, Rival Sons.
Wow. I mean, I discovered Rival Sons last year when I was checking out who was going to be supporting Greta Van Fleet when we saw them. And so I listened to their album Great Western Valkyrie, especially the song Open My Eyes, which was brilliant. So I was looking forward to this new album, and it doesn't disappoint. They haven't tried to go off their sound and try something completely diverse. They know what their distinctive sound is. Bird in the Hand is quality Rival Sun anthem, which is a personal favourite of mine. This is a good quality album for Rival Sons fans, old and new, and I can't wait to see them later on this year in concert.
So, what did I think? Well, I was biting my hand there, so you obviously think I disagree with you a little bit, because for me, album of the year. Album of the year by a million miles for me. And Dark Side, probably my single of the year. I mean, what a haunting, amazing melody that is. It is just, oh my God, it is just phenomenal. Everything about it, lyrically, musically, it just sung to me. It just haunted me. Bird in the Hand, Rapture, Guillotine. I absolutely think this is a tour de force album. I absolutely loved it. Loved everything about it. I loved the blues and rocks. I loved the melody because it wasn't a traditional kind of ballad. But yeah, listen to Dark Side. I mean, God, Dark Side. Oh my God, what a tune! What a ballad! What a just extraordinary. So different to anything else in terms of the way the ballads work and about. I can't. I'm so passionate about this album and this. I mean, immediately, we spotted that Rival Sons are touring, and within 24 hours of listening to an album, I go, we have to go. I have to go and see them. I think where they playing? I think in Portsmouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is for me just everything I love about rock music. I love that older sound, and I agree with Paul. It brings it much into the modern age as well, with their own kind of style, but with definitely that influence on it. Oh God, I love it. This album is an absolute keeper for me. If I had vinyl, I would be buying it. I can't say more than praise it more than enough than that, really. So, but yeah.
Was this your first experience of the band?
Well, I listened to a little bit of them because they were going to be touring Rival Sons. I don't think they did in the end. Because they were.
No, we didn't see them.
We didn't see them. But so no, I've not really experienced. Right, it's a bit like I suppose when Ian was talking about Foo Fighters the other day, and about he hadn't listened to any Foo Fighters. Ended up giving their album a 5, and we all thought it was kind of good but mediocre. So I've not experienced their stuff, and I don't think it, and that's a good thing sometimes. But honestly, this album is just sublime. I will be checking out their back.
I was going to say, listen to an album called Pressure in Time, because I think you'll really enjoy that.
Yeah. What an album this was! What an album. But let's find out who they're up against. They're up against Royal Thunder. How to follow that? Royal Thunder, Rebuilding the Mountain. Who are Royal Thunder? American rock band from Atlanta, Georgia, not California. We are full of Americans on the show. Founded in 2004 by guitarist Josh Weaver. The style of hard rock takes a primary influences from classic rock and 90s grunge, the elements of progressive rock and psychedelic rock. Rolling Stone has described the band as a bit like an alternative universe where Janis Joplin fronted Led Zeppelin. Okay. The most recent album, Rebuild the Mountain, was released in 2003. So, Rolling Stone praised Parinza for her rasping, powerful wail, which is one of the most moving voices in rock right now, and noted the band has found its sound. Has it, though? Has it found its sound? Well, one person who has found his sound, because we can't keep him quiet. Ian, let's go to you first then, mate. What do you think about Royal Thunder and Rebuilding the Mountain?
Okay, never heard of Royal Thunder before. So the title Rebuilding the Mountain suggests that this wasn't their first album, or it's a great marketing tool if it was. And I agree with the comments of the vocals. The rasping vocals were amazing. I thought that the singers' vocals were akin to like Susie Quattro, Skunk Anansie, Katie Tunstall, Chrissy Hynde. That really good, like rasping rock, but not overdoing it. Just absolutely drags you in. The rest of the band I can't speak as highly about. I'm not going to diss them at all. I'm not going to put them down because there's definitely some talent there, but the vocals stood out so much more than the band as the almost like the mercurial part of the band, if you like. The album meanders quite nicely, but it doesn't know where it's going and doesn't end up anywhere. It's kind of like, you know, when you play poo sticks, you chuck a stick over the bridge and it could be doing anything underneath and you're waiting there for it to come out. And you know, when it gets caught or disappears or you miss it and you don't see the poo stick, you think, oh, I was really looking forward to that, but it's not there. What's happened? I think that's the feeling I got from this album. It's not a bad album. I just wish I'd had a moment or multiple at the end of it.
There's been a lot of analogies on this show, a lot. But poo sticks, Dave? Poo sticks?
No,
Which would you be? Would you be Winnie the Pooh, Piglet? Would you be?
No,
Because I think obviously Ian's definite Eeyore there. But great analogy. Dave.
The weird thing is, the thing that disturbs me the most is I think I kind of get where he's coming from.
At last, somebody, at last.
Someone understands my head.
I listened to this album and the first song dragged me. I was like, yeah, right, let's go. This is going to be a good one. And then the rest of it just left me completely and utterly cold. It was just like, you know, it's like someone giving you the come on and then going, now I've got a headache. And you're like, oh, no moment for me today then. You know, you build yourself up and then, yeah, it just leaves you cold. It's just terrible. It's just nothing there that grabbed me, nothing pulled me in. As I say, really like the vocalist, but beyond that, there's just nothing there, nothing that piqued me interest at all. First song, great though. Really, really enjoyed the first song, but what was the first
song called?
Drag Me.
Okay.
Yeah. Beyond that, it's as I say, it was. That song, listening to that, I thought, this could be a 5. This album, sort of judged just on that one song, and then the rest of the album, it was just like, okay, what happened? Something, after that first song, something clearly happened because the rest of it, I couldn't even be bothered to listen to it the second time. I got sort of halfway through and went, I'm just going to turn this off. I'm just not feeling it.
Well, listen, combining two analogies, if you think Ian's giving you the come on to go for a walk...
Well, no,
He's not giving you the come on, he's asking you to come and play poo sticks with him.
I'm not playing poo sticks with anybody.
Take a very big stick. Trish, multiple moment Trish. Let's crack on with you then. Multiple magic. Let's crack on. Magic moments, Quality Street. There we go. Trish.
So I'd not heard of them before, and with the name of the band, I was expecting an 80s, 90s rock sound. How wrong I was. The album starts with the haunting drag, where in the middle of fantastic guitarists. This album has a throwback to the 60s, 70s psychedelic sound with a bit of 90s grunge thrown in for good measure. Individually, the songs on the album are wide in scope of sound and are put together with careful thought, but then collectively as an album flow really well. On first listen, I wasn't sure about the album, but there was something there that I couldn't put my finger on. Did I like it? Didn't I like it? I think that was because when I was listening to it at work, I kept getting interrupted and dipping in and out of listening to it, where this album needs to be listened to as a whole without interruptions. So I listened again first thing at work before distractions, and I'm so glad I did, as it made me realise I do like this album a lot, and I will like it more each time I listen to it. It's a grower, it's different to my normal listening, but it has a bit of everything. For any existing Royal Thunder fan, they will not be disappointed, and anyone not already familiar with them and their psychedelic sound need to remedy it and add this to their album collection, as it's a keeper for me.
Wow. Okay. Paul, bit of Royal Thunder. What did you think?
Well, I don't know. I've learned a lot this month with my fellow colleagues here. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for Trish to have a moment. I think if Ian set up a band, it'd be called the Pooh Sticks, and everyone would think it was a punk band, but it wouldn't be a Bon Jovi style band. And Dave usually has a disappointing night every time he goes out. So,
sad but true.
But yeah. So anyway, it's Royal Thunder. It's been, I believe, 6 years since Royal Thunder produced their last album. In that time, the guitarist departed, making the band a threesome. For Rebuilding the Mountain, they recorded the whole album live to give the music a raw and honest sound. The songs are atmospheric and densely complicated affairs, and again have that Led Zepp feel to them. However, I know she spells the name with different icons and everything, but I'm taking it as Minnie Parsons. Voice drips clarity, tone, and venom at the same time. Songs like Now Here, Nowhere, My Ten, and The Knife stay in the mind long after the final note has sounded. Royal Thunder have produced a wall of sound rock album that is very listenable, and this is, to me, is a rare feat, and I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I think I agree with Trish. This is a bit of a grower of an album. There's kind of a lot of facets to it as well. It's quite a technical album as well, and her voice is a gem. I loved The King, and I loved Twice as well. I thought they were absolutely cracking tunes. I can understand where Dave's coming from, because it does. And actually, Dave, I know you obviously were moving house and you've had about a week to kind of listen to it, and I would encourage you to go back and listen to this album again, because it's definitely a grower. It's one of those albums I think you need to listen to 3, maybe 4 times to really kind of get it under your skin and appreciate it a little bit more. But it's a cracking album. It's it's not a. I think if you listen to it about 10 times, you'd end up giving it a 5. But it's a good album. But you'd have to listen to it multiple times, which obviously we don't tend to have the time to do. But yeah, it was a solidly good rock album, with some really good kind of moments in there. And as I say, it kind of grew on me a few times. I kept bumping up the score I was going to give them. So did I love it? Probably not. Did I really like it? Yeah, I really liked the album. It was really solid. Okay. Right. Well, let's find out. Will anything be getting into the Hall of Fame? Who will we be looking to buy then? So Ian, we started with you then. So Rival Sons, what are you giving for Rival Sons?
Rival Sons got 3.5 out of 5 from me.
Dave.
4.
Trish.
A multiple 5.
You are full of 5s this month. Full of 5s. Paul.
I got a 4 from me.
4 from me. And there'd be no shock if I could give this a 20. I would give it a 20. It was a 5 for me as well. So, people, that's a big score. That's 18. That's 21.5. Congratulations to Rival Sons into the Hall of Fame. Woohoo! That's amazing. Absolutely amazing score. So, how about Royal Thunder though? That's a hard act to follow, isn't it? But let's find out then. Dave.
1.5.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. Trish.
4.
4. Paul.
5.
What? 5.
Whoop, whoop.
5.
A 5
Paul's
from
got
Paul.
his 5 out.
Hey everybody, stop the clock. Let's hear it again. Paul, let me hear that. Raw Thunder, Paul. 5. That's a rare treat.
Woo!
That's a really rare treat.
Wow.
A real 5. Royal Thunder, you got a 5 from Paul. That's a real massive seal of approval. Ian.
If I had a band, it would be called Electric Poo 6. Is what it would be called, definitely. This band, I gave this. It would have given it a 2, but with the vocals, it's got 2.5.
2.5. It was a 4 from me. A 4 from me. So we're looking at 8. Boo, Hiss, Dave 1.5, 9.5, 14.5, 15, 17. That's still a big score. That's still a big score. That's a really solid score. Should have been better. Dave, you need to go back and listen to that album.
I will. I'll try and give it another couple of listens.
Well, as I say, sometimes if I give 1.5 to something, I'm probably not going back to it. So, but there we go.
Well.
Okay, undoubtedly Rival Sons. We've purchased Rival Sons, apart from Paul, who would obviously buy Royal Thunder. But what a cracking show. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you to my panel. But first of all, if you do like what you've heard, please like and subscribe our channel. Check it out. Lots of great interviews. Check out our Facebook page as well, which is MPJ on Facebook. And please like and subscribe and share. Let's keep it out there. And and thank you very much to my amazing crew, to Dave, to Ian, to Paul, and to Magic Moments, Trish. Thank you very much for joining us today, and keep on rocking, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.